Governor Scott Walker was once a leading GOP candidate in the 2016 race, but a swift reversal of fortune saw Walker's poll numbers plunge. Just a short time ago, Governor Walker making it official, suspending his presidential campaign.
Today, I believe that I'm being called to lead by helping to clear the field in this race so that a positive, conservative message can rise to the top of the field. With this in mind, I will suspend my campaign immediately. I encourage other Republican presidential candidates to consider doing the same so that the voters can focus on a limited number of candidates who can offer a positive, conservative alternative to the current frontrunner. This is fundamentally important to the future of the party and, more importantly, to the future of our country.
The On the Record political panel is here from the Hill. A.B. Stoddard and ABC News political director Rick Klein. And Rick, the fact that he says that he wants to help find a conservative alternative to the front runner, that's another way to say that he is mad at Donald Trump, or he wants him out.
This is the dump Trump movement. And I think that Scott Walker dropping out has to make us reassess a lot of our assumptions about this Republican presidential field. We were expecting this split 17-way field. Two things happened. One is Scott Walker was running out of money. That's really what was driving this, is that he was looking at an empty campaign coffers, having to go into debt potentially to keep it going. And the other thing is this enormous pressure from donors in the establishment class that says we have to consolidate, we have to coalesce. So whether or not they take Scott Walker's advice and begin to drop out, we could be looking at a much smaller field than we've been anticipating.
Well, the governors aren't doing too well. Now two governors have suspended, which means dropped out of their campaigns, Governor Perry and now Scott Walker. Who does Governor Scott Walker support, do you think?
I don't know. He's obviously not going to make an endorsement. He and Perry were conservative governors. This is an amazing transformation in terms of what the conventional wisdom is about what the party wants and what they were set to do after the age of Barack Obama, a junior senator who became president. I mean, this is a really, I think Rick's right. I think it gets consolidated pretty quickly. You're probably looking at maybe Christie holds on for a while. I think Huckabee's gone. So that you have an establishment group of Kasich and Rubio and Jeb Bush. And then, of course, you have the outsiders, Donald Trump and a surging Fiorina and Ben Carson. And I think it's going to get tighter and the oxygen's going to run out of the room pretty soon. But I think voters are in one of those two boats. And I think Scott Walker's right. They need fewer choices.
Well, you know, it's interesting. He's only 47, so he's not going away. And the AFL-CIO statement on Scott Walker by the President Richard Trumka shows that, well, not everybody is gracious at these times. Because he says, this is the AFL-CIO statement, Scott Walker is still a disgrace, just no longer national. I mean, like, whatever. Why'd you do that?
He's been at war with the unions for a long time.
Still at some point, once in a while, they sort of like at least take a deep breath.
This is the one day that everyone says something nice about you is when you drop out.
Reaches deep down.
Exactly, except for that. I think he's in a role now where he can play a bit of an elder statesman, even though he's not that old, potentially run in the future, be viable as a vice presidential candidate or as a cabinet secretary. Remember, he was just reelected in Wisconsin, so he still gets to serve out that term. And he has said before that it has to be a governor. He has said that very explicitly, that the nominee has to be a governor. But does he actually endorse one of these?
Kasich or Christie or Jeb?
Is it Kasich, Christie, and Jeb are the ones that
and
are left?
Huckabee's a governor.
Jindal as well.
Jindal.
If he's serious about winnowing the field, it's hard to see how he supports one of the candidates that has the most realistic chance right now. I think Marco Rubio is a big beneficiary of this news. I think it opens up a lot of running room in Iowa, and he also made the announcement that he's already picked up Walker's former campaign chairman in New Hampshire.
Boy, I tell you, though, it did seem bitter. You know.
I think these people don't really love each other, and I think that Walker was a divisive figure in his own state. But again, I want to remark that he and Perry were supposed to be sort of the dream candidates. So they had the experience as governors, the executive experience, and they were quite conservative. And that's not popular enough right now in a divided party going in another direction.
A.B. Rick, if you'll stick around.